Ever wonder why learning English through stories can be so impactful? Well, let's unravel that mystery together. Stories are more than just entertaining tales. They're powerful tools that can significantly enhance language learning. Think about it. When you're engrossed in a story, you're inadvertently picking up new words, grasping their usage in different contexts, and training your ears to the rhythm and nuances of the language. Stories paint vivid pictures, helping you remember and recall words more effectively. But the real magic lies in the fact that stories make language learning an enjoyable journey. It doesn't feel like a chore or a daunting task. Instead, it becomes an engaging adventure where you're exploring new worlds, meeting fascinating characters, and all the while improving your language skills. So, are you ready to dive into a short story and see these concepts in action? Picture this. A young girl named Lucy lives in a small town. She loves to read and dreams of seeing the world. Every day, she sits under her favorite tree, lost in the pages of her book, her mind traveling to far-off places. One day, Lucy decides to set off on an adventure. She packs a small bag, waves goodbye to her family, and steps onto a bus headed for the city. As the bus rumbles along, Lucy's heart beats with excitement. This is her first time leaving her small town. Arriving in the city, Lucy is amazed by the towering skyscrapers, the bustling streets, and the diversity of people. She spends her days exploring the city, visiting museums, parks, and trying different cuisines. She even befriends a local girl, Mia, who shows her around the city. "You must be brave to travel alone," Mia comments one afternoon as they sip on ice-cold lemonades. "I've always wanted to see what's out there," Lucy responds, her eyes shining with curiosity. Despite the thrill of the city, Lucy starts to miss her small town. She misses the quiet mornings, the familiar faces, and her favorite reading spot under the tree. She realizes that her small town, with its simplicity and warmth, is her world. With a sigh, Lucy decides it's time to go home. She boards the bus back, her heart filled with a bittersweet feeling. As the bus nears her town, she sees the familiar landscape, and a sense of peace washes over her. Once home, Lucy runs to her favorite tree, her book waiting for her. She opens it and begins to read, her mind once again traveling to far-off places. But this time, there's a smile on her face. She knows she's exactly where she's meant to be. So Lucy's adventure ends with her realizing that her small town was her world all along. But what did we learn from this? Let's dissect this story and identify the key language learning points. The beauty of using stories to learn a language is that they effortlessly integrate vocabulary, grammar structures, and tenses. In our story, you'll notice a variety of these elements, all woven together to form a coherent narrative. Let's start with vocabulary. Did you notice the use of the words serene, bustling, and melancholy? These are all adjectives that add rich detail to the story. Understanding their meaning and context is crucial to comprehending the narrative and expanding your vocabulary bank. Now let's talk about grammar structures. Our story showcased the use of compound sentences, such as "the city was bustling, yet she felt a sense of serenity within her." This structure allows the writer to express complex thoughts and relationships between ideas, making your English more sophisticated. And finally, the tenses. The past simple tense was predominantly used in our story, but did you notice the shift to present simple when the character was expressing general truths? This subtle shift is a common storytelling technique, and recognizing it can help you understand the narrative better. Remember, it's not just about learning these elements in isolation, but understanding how they fit together in the context of the story. Pay attention to how dialogue is used to reveal character and advance the plot. It's in these everyday conversations that we find the real beauty of language. And that, my friends, is how a simple story can turn into a powerful language learning tool. So, what's the takeaway from today's language learning adventure? It's all about the power of stories. Stories are not just entertaining, they are key tools in mastering English. They help us understand the language's structure, enhance our vocabulary, and make learning engaging. But don't stop at just reading or listening. Try writing your own stories. It's a fun and creative way to practice. Remember, every story you read or write is a step closer to mastering the English language. Happy learning!